Farm Bureau has been excellent on
It's just a great opportunity to expand on your leadership abilities.
Women are very important in the Farm Bureau.
Luncheon today where we take time to...
I've been coming for about 20-something.
The Young Farmer Leadership
Unfortunately, I have to make a claim.
No, this is my second year being here.
I believe this conference.
Farm Bureau is the voice of agriculture in Kentucky.
Many voices talking all at the same time are considered noise to most folks. However, when those voices come together as one, they become a choir of harmony and spirit. At Kentucky Farm Bureau, the unity of one voice, one family was strong in 2012. With the devastating drought which impacted most of the state and the many severe hail, tornado, and windstorms that swept through our communities, it was a time of helping one another. A time when one voice, one family meant stepping up to help our members get through the hard times. That commitment of one voice was truly demonstrated this past year as our members from all over the Commonwealth gathered in Louisville for our 92nd state annual meeting. More than 1,700 Farm Bureau members registered during the 92nd annual meeting, which took place at the Galt House here in Louisville. Those attending had many opportunities to increase their knowledge about agriculture by attending various workshops and conferences.
Help me welcome our president of Kentucky Farm Bureau, Mr. Mark Haney.
During the annual meeting, Mr. Haney, a Pulaski County farmer, was re-elected president of Kentucky Farm Bureau for a fourth term. Mr. Haney has served on the executive committee for 13 years and has been a state director since 1993.
Thank you very much.
For years, he chaired the State Resolutions Committee. He is a past president of the Kentucky Center for Cooperative Development and also is a past chairman of the Kentucky Horticulture Society. Mr. Haney serves as a member of the American Farm Bureau Federation Board of Directors, a member of the Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, and also a member of the Farm Bureau Bancorp Board of Directors. Webster County's Eddie Milton was re-elected to the role of first vice president. Mr. Milton is chairman of the Kentucky Farm Bureau State Resolutions Committee and is a former president of the Webster County Farm Bureau. Hart County's Fritz Giske was re-elected as second vice president. Mr. Giske serves as chair of the Kentucky Farm Bureau Beef Advisory Committee and also serves as a member of the Meat Export Federation's Executive Committee. He has also been an active member of the Hart County Farm Bureau for over 30 years, where he has served in a variety of leadership positions, including county president. Most importantly, the annual meeting is a time of conducting important Farm Bureau business. The Resolutions Committee's final recommendations are among the matters decided upon by the voting delegates during the annual business sessions. Mr. Haney led Kentucky's delegation to this year's 92nd American Farm Bureau annual meeting. Kentucky Farm Bureau also captured the Awards for Excellence. We received the award in recognition of our outstanding work in policy implementation, member services, public relations and information, leadership development, and agriculture education and promotion. Policy development is one of the ways Farm Bureau communicates as one voice. State advisory committees and the State Resolutions Committee met throughout the year to determine our stand on issues facing our agricultural community. Policy development meetings took place all across the state, like this one in Barron County, where District 4 met for fellowship and grassroots work on policy development.
I've been involved with the Farm Bureau. When my father retired, he asked if I would, and the board approved, and I got elected to the local board probably about 12 years ago, and was vice president for a few years, and I'm local president now, and it's home. And you know, a lot of the people I know I've known for years that have come here, and it's good to meet with other farmers and enjoy the fellowship and to find out what ideas from each county.
Kentucky Farm Bureau policy comes from the grassroots through several avenues. Most policy originates at the County Farm Bureau annual meetings, but another source is through the organization's advisory committees. These committees deal with topics ranging from all of the farm commodities common in Kentucky to issues of importance to rural areas such as education, transportation, and health care. Kentucky Farm Bureau's Tax Advisory Committee met at the state office. Lieutenant Governor Jerry Aberson gave an update on the progress being made by the Governor's Blue Ribbon Commission on tax reform and sought feedback from Farm Bureau's tax committee members.
I really want to listen to you on issues that you want us to keep an eye on, and that's why I was so appreciative that Pat was willing to give me the chance, and Joe had the time to come and join me to listen to you all in terms of where you think we ought to make sure we're respecting and any ideas you have in the agriculture, farm and agriculture business area that we should know about.
One of the greatest responsibilities of the Kentucky Farm Bureau is to voice agricultural story to the public, the media, and to elected officials. From the halls of Frankfort to the steps of the nation's capital, Farm Bureau was there.
We support the Kentucky Livestock Care Standards Commission.
Kentucky Farm Bureau President Mark Haney was among the agricultural leaders addressing the Kentucky Livestock Care Standards Commission during a highly publicized public forum to receive comments regarding proposed standards for livestock and poultry care. Farm Bureau was in Frankfort for Food Checkout Day. Food baskets full of Kentucky-grown items were delivered to state legislators to thank them for their support of agriculture. Food Checkout Day represents the day that the average American has earned enough money to pay for their food for the coming year. Farm Bureau members were also in Frankfort having their voice heard. Over 100 Farm Bureau members were on hand for the legislative drive-in this year. Members had the opportunity to bring key issues before their state legislators. One of the highlights of the year was the annual congressional tour, which has been a Farm Bureau tradition for more than 50 years. About 200 Farm Bureau members traveled to Washington, D.C. to talk face-to-face with lawmakers about important agricultural issues. During the annual congressional breakfast, Farm Bureau members had the opportunity to meet with their district representatives in a casual setting. Later that afternoon, the entire group was invited to attend a question and answer session with United States Senator Mitch McConnell and Senator Rand Paul.
We talk about a member service for our members, not only in the courthouses at home, and in Frankfort in our State House, but you know, the work we do here in our nation's capital is equally important, if not more important. So we're here being able to bring our members to town with us and meet with our members of Congress, and it's effective for us as an organization.
This year marked the 25th annual Beef Expo, which is held the first week in March. In 2007, Kentucky Farm Bureau became the key sponsor to ensure many more years of success for the Expo, and the name was changed to the Kentucky Farm Bureau Beef Expo. Farm Bureau's Executive Committee and management was on hand to present checks to the outstanding winners at the show. More than 1,600 people were on hand this year for the Kentucky Farm Bureau Annual Country Ham Breakfast. This year's ham, provided by Scott's Hams of Muhlenberg County, sold for $300,000. Dr. Mark Lynn and Associates of Louisville had the winning bid.
I don't know that enough can be said good about Farm Bureau and what they do for the state. So much of it goes unknown because a lot of people hear agriculture and they turn it off. But they've got to realize that's a vital part of who we are in Kentucky, and Farm Bureau is the leader in that. You can't just say enough good about it.
Those attending the breakfast not only witnessed the sale of one special ham, but also heard firsthand about the state of agriculture from Farm Bureau leadership, as well as Governor Steve Beshear and Republican leader Mitch McConnell. One of the ways Farm Bureau tells the ag story as one voice is through our television programs and magazine. Kentucky Farm Bureau's Emmy-awarded Bluegrass and Backroads continues to be a powerful resource for not only sharing agricultural story, but promoting Farm Bureau's pride in the Commonwealth. During this past year, Bluegrass and Backroads received 4 Emmy nominations from the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, and received 1 Emmy for a segment which featured Kramer Snyder, a young man who never let his blindness stop him from showing cattle. Bluegrass and Backroads continues its partnership with KET and RFD-TV, and is a major tool in telling agricultural story. The Kentucky Farm Bureau News completed its 13th year of production with record advertising revenue and continued editorial excellence. The magazine is a valuable source of information for our members. It's the 4th largest circulation of any publication in Kentucky. This year, Farm Bureau entered the growing world of social media, with several Facebook pages and Twitter accounts for many of our areas of interest. The following on these accounts continues to grow. Soon, Farm Bureau will introduce an app for our members' smartphones and iPads, which will help keep our members updated on current news and priority issues. Kentucky Farm Bureau has a rich tradition of providing member services, and our focus this year has been to expand and enhance the quality of services available to our membership. Probably the one place that one voice, one family can be felt the strongest is with our commitment to our young people. Kentucky Farm Bureau has always believed that our youth are the key to ensuring the future of Kentucky agriculture. The Young Farmers Summer Outing was held in Northern Kentucky this year. Over 400 young farmers from 59 counties attend the annual event sponsored by Kentucky Farm Bureau. The outing gives young farmers the opportunity to discuss topics ranging from farm technology to global trade. Kentucky Farm Bureau has been sponsoring a summer outing for young farmers since 1990.
My wife Elizabeth and I have been coming to the summer outings for probably about 10 or 11 years now, faithfully, and I guess the best way to sum up why it's important for us is the words of our 4- and 6-year-old is because we get to see our Farm Bureau friends, as they say it. You know, whether it be here, be the annual meeting, or the Winter Leadership Conference, it's a good time for young farmers to get together with other young farmers from across the state, exchange ideas, and talk about things that are going on the farm. Of course, this year the lack of rainfall is on everybody's mind. And you know, it's just a good way for us to be able to talk to one another to see about how to address those kinds of challenges.
Since 1953, Kentucky Farm Bureau has awarded more than $2 million in scholarships to Farm Bureau member families. This year, 9 scholarships were given out worth $135,000. Numerous other county farm bureaus who administer their own scholarship program awarded an additional 144 scholarships worth over $167,000. Over 80 high school students registered for this year's EIFEL program, which was held in June on the campuses of Murray State University and the University of Kentucky. The annual summer program exposes students to college life and possible agricultural careers by allowing them to visit college campuses and speak to current ag students and professors. Participants in the EIFEL program are nominated each year by their County Farm Bureau Board of Directors.
The ropes course was very challenging. I, at first, wasn't a big fan of it at all. I always like to push myself further, and if I don't accomplish something, I really get mad at myself and feel like a failure. Sounds bad, but I do. And when we got up to a wall, and it's about 14 feet high, and I just knew all of our team wasn't going to be able to get over it. And surprisingly, we did. And I'm still like, don't understand how we did it, but we did. And it was just a lot of trust and knowing that, you know, we had strength in ourselves and in the people around us.
Many counties conducted workshops and agricultural and classroom activities for our young people. Ag Day, like this one in Greenup County, conducted by the Greenup County Farm Bureau, who teamed up with the community leaders in the Greenup County schools. These events help students get a better understanding about where their food comes from. Farm Bureau has continually kept our Farm Bureau leadership well informed about agricultural issues on the state and national level. Several counties offer opportunities to our legislative leaders for one-on-one discussions on issues facing farm families. Measure the Candidate meetings help members learn more about the views of potential elected officials and share key agricultural issues like this one in Boone County. Kentucky Farm Bureau Director Scott Travis and his wife Robbie played host to a public forum with 2nd District Congressman Brett Guthrie at the Spencer County Farm.
We're home in August for our district work period, so we like to get out and hear about what's going on in the district and hear from people in the real world. This is very timely we're here because we're going to get back after the Democratic Convention, and we'll be back in Washington, D.C. and ready to work up until we break for the elections.
Fayette County Farm Bureau played host to a legislative appreciation dinner at the Talon Winery and Vineyard in Lexington. The dinner was designed to get Farm Bureau members face-to-face with their elected leaders and to show their appreciation for their support of agriculture. About 200 Farm Bureau leaders from across the state came to Louisville for the annual County Presidents and Vice Presidents Conference. The annual conference gives County Farm Bureau leaders a chance to hear motivational speakers and attend a variety of sessions focusing on leadership training and important agricultural issues facing our counties. Over 200 women from all over the state gathered in Louisville for the annual Women's Leadership Conference. This conference provides our leaders a chance to be briefed on current issues facing agriculture. Our lead class wrapped up their 2 years together in November.
The thing that I think I've learned is that we can all be leaders, doesn't matter what your personality is. Some of it comes to us more natural than others, but we can all work to be better leaders within ourselves and within our communities.
The group learned valuable lessons on teamwork and leadership. Kentucky Farm Bureau held regional teacher workshops. There were 4 locations this year which featured a variety of workshops and motivational speakers. These all-day workshops are designed to provide teachers useful professional skills and information on agriculture and how it might be used in the classroom. This year's American Farm Bureau Board of Directors summer meeting was held in Kentucky. The board toured a variety of stops along the way that highlighted many aspects of agriculture in the Commonwealth.
This is our summer American Farm Bureau Federation board meeting. We have a history of traveling around the country to hold the meeting. It gives us an opportunity to visit other states, get people familiar with other types of agriculture which they may not understand. And it's a great opportunity to have a little more relaxed meeting, but at the same time, really learn more about American agriculture.
Recently, our executive team toured several Kentucky counties. There they visited County Farm Bureau offices as well as toured agricultural businesses.
Farm Bureau's grassroots organization, and we get to exchange ideas and voice our opinions on some things to the leadership of Kentucky Farm Bureau.
We come out and bring the management team from both the Federation and the insurance company, that we can come down and sit in a one-on-one setting in the county farm bureaus in their boardrooms and talk about issues that are important to them on the county level as well as on the state and national level.
These trips serve to share and gather information for a better understanding of Farm Bureau and enhanced working relationships. – 2012 had its challenges. However, Farm Bureau was there to meet those challenges with a dedicated staff. This year, we welcomed some new faces to our staff. Mike Tobin, a resident of Cynthiana, Kentucky, was named director of the Commodity Division. Fran McCall, an Oldham County native, was named commodity specialist. Carolyn Gavette, a Grace County native, was named social media specialist. Andrew Brothers, Assistant Director of Accounting and Finance, and Dave Mesker, Director of Support Services, came to us from Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance Companies. Matthew Ingram, originally from Bath County, was promoted to Director of the Organization Division and also Assistant to the Executive Vice President. 2012 was another highly eventful year as we continue to expand our programs and services to better serve our members. We are blessed to have a highly talented, dedicated staff that enables us to move forward. This report has reflected many of their achievements. We are proud of our county and state voluntary leaders and a staff that is second to none.
Yes! There you go.
Kentucky Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau. The Kentucky Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau is...
Couldn't do it without them, so thank them so much for sponsoring us.
Learn about what we do in Farm Bureau. And
Farm Bureau's grassroots organization.
You know Farm Bureau is in every county in the state?
Farm Bureau has sponsored 2 busloads of students.
Women are very important in the Farm Bureau organization.
Farm Bureau is the voice of agriculture in the state of Kentucky.
I want to say thank you to the Kentucky Farm Bureau.